So we're trying to minimize cost here, come up with some things that are really good, but really cheap. So let's go ahead and get this started. And like I said, more olive oil. We're gonna turn this on a really low setting, let that start to warm up. And we're gonna take more breadcrumbs. Now we're not having bread tonight, so there's our bread.
So you want all these in there?
Let's put a little bit at a time until it gets where you think it needs to be. And we're gonna put an egg.
An egg.
Another binding agent, fresh chicken egg. Mushrooms are optional in this dish if you like them. I think it really adds a lot to this particular dish.
I do too.
Nikki likes them, and that's what's
I love
important.
mushrooms.
Now, the one thing important, the taste that we're going for here is a very particular oniony taste. I like onion powder. Now, any kind of dehydrated onion is not normally my favorite thing in the world, but to get that taste on this particular recipe, I think it's important. And I don't want to put raw onion in there because to me it won't get cooked adequately this way. And there's some garlic.
Yeah.
And there's some salt. Okay, now this, again, is not anything nobody else has done. Here's our Worcester sauce. If you were to pronounce Worcestershire sauce phonetically, it would have a lot of syllables. And a lot of people in the UK call it Worcester sauce. And some people put the Worcestershire, but regardless, it's got a flavor that is just absolutely outstanding, and it involves actual little fishies. A lot of people don't know
Really?
that,
I didn't know
but
that.
the whole process and the whole thing was kind of an accident, and they used aged, fermented little fishies
Really?
and tamarind, and it just has this wonderful, unique flavor that you need in some things.
Smells
When
good.
you combine that with a meat, oh, I smell it already.
It smells really
and
good.
the onion powder, you kind of got something special. So one more thing I'm gonna do here, anytime that I have a beef dish, a lot of times I'll put a little thyme in there, whether it's when it comes to prime rib, and even when I'm cooking a steak, I'll put some thyme in there.
You do.
It just adds something special. I know that seems maybe more like a chicken spice, but we absolutely love thyme in our beef.
Should we to form you a couple patties?
If you want to, yes. And we'll kind of make those elongated.
Okay.
Here lately, you'll be noticing I fish a lot, so we use a lot of fillet knives. They actually work really well.
Nice and sharp.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take, and again, the mushrooms are optional if you like those. We really like mushrooms, so we're gonna use those. So I'm gonna reach across you and grab some of these onion rings. This is a yellow sweet onion. So we're gonna take
smells
our
good.
onions, doesn't it?
That smells good. Onions cooking always.
Now, if you notice, a lot of the ingredients that we put into our hamburger steaks are very similar to some of the things you'd use in Salisbury steaks.
Oh yeah.
Same kind of seasoning profile. But how many times you go to a restaurant and want something like that? It's just that kind of day.
Yeah.
You want to, some sort of something that's just country. And this is, again, olive oil. In the end, what makes this the star?
I think the gravy.
It is the gravy.
Using all this to cook everything. Perfect.
And one of the most common things that you'll hear when you're out there and about and people say, man, I can't make gravy. We're going to show you some inside stuff tonight. Inside secrets. A lot of the stuff that you get is so processed. When you go to a restaurant, you'll get some gravy that's you'll notice that you're really like, oh, maybe I got a little indigestion.
Yeah.
It's really highly processed. But to get that consistency and all that wonderful stuff, we're gonna give you a little insights, a little country insight tonight. So our onions are going in wonderful, healthy, extra virgin olive oil. We'll put just enough mushrooms for us. And the smells already are kind of ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
So we can go ahead and start seasoning this. A little pepper, a little salt, healthy salt. This is not processed salt. It is sea salt that has not been processed and has very vital minerals in it for you. It's a little more expensive, but look up sea salts that aren't processed. You can find them, and they're much better for you. So now that these are going, I'm gonna let them continue to cook. And again, we're not going crazy here on temperature. We're just not gonna do it. We're gonna take our
Ready for your
beautiful piece of meat right there. I'm gonna pop that in right in the middle. Let this continue to cook around them on
Another one?
the sides. And these are gonna begin to cook.
Yummy.
We'll turn that temperature up just a little bit, but again, not enough to set off the smoke alarms. So that particular beef that we took was very lean, so we don't have to even drain this, but The little bit of fat that is coming out of that is going to help flavor the gravy.
Oh yeah.
When you have already the wonderful taste of onions and mushrooms together, and then you have your beef in there and just that little bit of beef fat, then there's your base for your gravy. You're getting started on the right foot.
Those are some big pieces we made.
Oh yeah.
I hope I'm hungry.
This is meant to stick to your ribs.
I think so. Yum.
Our hamburger steak
It's
is beautiful. They are done. I like mine a little more rare than yours. Oh, they've got a little bit of brown on them now.
I'm gonna stick this in the oven.
Stick that in the oven if you will. Keep that warm. We're going to deglaze a little beef stock. This comes together quickly. So if, Mrs. Farmer, if you will make me a slurry.
I will.
I'm going to go ahead and put a little garlic in here. Again, you want your gravy to be very flavorful. So we're going to do, I don't know, 1/4 tablespoon of onion powder and garlic.
Good.
And we're going to do it just a little bit of thyme, a little salt, a little pepper, and now a little more Worcestershire if you want that. Now there are all kinds of seasonings out there. Put your little all-purpose seasoning that you like, whatever brand name that you like, to make that depth of flavor a little bit more. And to bring up your umami, let's go ahead and put a little bouillon in there. And see where we're going. So most of that has reduced down, so all those flavors are there. Come back with more beef broth. We're going to turn the temperature up. This is going to reduce down pretty quick, so we got to be careful. So that's got a little boil going on at that. Now I'm going to come in with a little red wine.
I think it was a 1/4 cup in there.
Don't need much. You can use red wine and vinegar. You want to get that little tart taste going on in there. I'm actually coming here. I got them sitting here, so might as well use them.
Making it fancy.
Just a little bit of chives. Raul gave me this simple formula for so many things. The reduction, that is just a basic currant jelly, just to give you that little bit of sweet.
Oh yeah.
You got some good quality bouillon, some good quality broth, maybe a little red wine, and you got something magic every time. So what is it now that turns this into a beautiful gravy?
Ta-da.
Our slurry. So this is just beef broth and cornstarch, and watch what happens in a very short amount of time. Watch what happens almost immediately.
Oh yeah.
Watch the consistency. Watch the consistency. Look what
Picking
happens.
up the yum.
Look what happens right there, immediately, right before your eyes. Did you see what happened there?
Yeah, nice
a little
and
more
thick.
slurry. A little more slurry. Be careful because it'll all boil off and reduce down on you. A little bit more. Let's go ahead and use it all. And look what we've got. Look what we have suddenly.
Wow.
We have thick, tasty,
Amazing gravy.
wonderful gravy. Do you see what happened there? We're going to plate this food up because it's ready.
Let's eat.
Just like that. Ms. Farmer,
Wow.
I can't eat it.
Okay.
It's too beautiful.
Can I? You don't eat it then.
I
I'll
would,
have it.
look at this though first. Look at the color. You think about the processed stuff that you get out there that is just, you taste it, you know, oh my
yeah.
goodness, I'm gonna need some antacids here in a little while. This is not like that. This is so fresh and so real.
Can I
and
go ahead?
I want you to do the honors.
Wow. I can't describe that. That's delicious.
Ground beef.
Tastes like fancy. Like it tastes
Oh, it is?
like
It's
steak.
a hamburger steak.
It tastes like steak. Tastes like a good steak. Wow, that's delicious. Mmm. Mmm. Your gravy, so good. It's salty and it's got the tinge of sweet in it. It's really good. And I love the mushrooms.
Oh my, Mrs. Farmer.